Hi, everyone. There's the question about what is the circle of 12. Now, this is not easily answerable unless I go into some nerdy stuff, as well as some compassionate things. Let me just tell you. When we do the Healing Wednesday Circle of 12, which we've been doing now for, well, many, many months, you'd think that, well, the Circle of 12 is a group of 12 masters, and we sit in the middle of them, and that would be very, I would say, linear. It's not that at all. Let me try to explain it for you. It's an energy. Did you know that the 12 represents the divine structure of the universe? It does. Let me have to do a little show and tell for this. It represents the completeness of the whole. Therefore, right away, I'll give you the definition of the circle of 12. It represents the structure of all that is and the spiritual completeness of all things. I want to do just kind of let you know where this comes from. And there's a little science behind it, a lot of compassion behind it, but here's a connect the dots, gee whiz, if you haven't heard this before. As physicists look around, as biologists look around, as you look around, they discover that this galaxy, this universe, this Earth is filled mostly with segments of 4, 6, and 12. It seems like all of the structures have these things in common that are meaningful. Maybe, perhaps, it's even the divine structure of the universe, both macro and micro. Everywhere you look, you find things divisible by 4, often culminating in 12. That's everywhere. It's the completeness of the whole. So let me just start with history. That's a good place to start. Did you know that the Egyptians used base 12 for almost all their counting and grouping? There are some who think that the pyramids were also built with base 12 math. That's just speculation, but we do know they counted in 12s. The Mayan calendar, always so interesting to me. They say that the Mayans used base 20, but look at their calendar. They have fun names for things. One tune for the Mayan calendar is 360 days. A katun, 7,200 days. Are you getting these numbers? There's a reason. One baktun, 144,000 days. Have you heard that number? One kalabatun, 57,600,000 days, all divisible by 4. Take a look at the Jewish calendar, divisible by 4. Take a look at the Chinese calendar, divisible by 4. Starting to connect the dots. Before we insisted on going metric, there's some interesting measurements to tell you about. In fact, we have still a lot of these measurements in the United States. 16 ounces in a pound. England, 12 pence in a shilling. Do you remember that, my English friends? A dozen. Where did a dozen come from? Why is it so common? 12 inches in a foot, 3 feet in a yard. Then we get spiritual. How about this? Have you heard this? 12 tribes of Israel. There is this 144,000 that keeps showing up in Scripture all over. 12 disciples of Christ, 12 knights of the Round Table. Where did they get this designation of 12s when we seem to count in 10s? How about astrology? All base 12, number of houses. Then we get into Scripture. It's really interesting. The most, I would say, common reoccurring number in the Bible, 187 places, is 12. Spiritually, look it up, it means the completion of the whole. There it is again. I have a little scripture I want you to read, and it's read for you. It's in Revelation, but I think it was Ezekiel who first named something called the New Jerusalem. That's heaven on earth, basically, but they also refer to it metaphorically as a place, and they give the measurements of this place. Revelation 21:16 and 17. The New Jerusalem contains, ready, 12 gates, and the walls are 144 cubits high. The city is 12,000 furlongs square. Now, let's get practical for a moment. Physics. How many laws of physics are there? Ta-da! Do you guessed it? 4. You look at something so basic and so elementary as time. 60 seconds in a minute. Music. Did you know there were 12 half steps between octaves? Navigation, of course, you're all dealing with 360 degrees in a circle. Then we have DNA. Guess what? How many base pairs? That's the ACGT. How many base pairs are there? There are 4. Someone asked, well, why are there then 23 sets of chromosomes instead of 24? Klein says, There are 24. You've always had 24. One of them is multidimensional, that pair. 12 months in a year, 24 hours a day. Are you starting to connect the dots? When Masaru Emoto started crystallizing water for us, and we got to see those wonderful, wonderful crystallization shots of water, were you aware? Start counting the patterns. The crystallized patterns all showed up in 3, 4, 6, and 12. You know why? It's the natural order of things. Here's my favorite, because I'm a nerd. I want you to go to your cameras, if you have one, and you want to take out the chip, and I want you to read the number. Almost every number, no matter what size you have of chip, is divisible by 4. 4, 8, 32, 64, 128, 512. Why is that the way it is? Did they design it that way? The answer is no, they really didn't design it to be 4s, because it's the natural order of things. That's the way it fell digitally. There's another one, even more nerdy. If you have a computer that has a hard drive, most of you do, and a hard drive that spins, many of you do, if you want to know the revolution per minute that it spins, 5,400, 7,200, all divisible by 4. Lee, what's this got to do with anything spiritual? Because it's the natural order of things, everything. Divisible by 4 that is beautiful, that is natural. The circle of 12 is the divine structure that is all of us, the 4s, the 12s, the 6. It surrounds us with a spiritual completeness, the circle of 12. So when you join us in this, you become complete, whole, with the universe, with all things. That's the circle of 12. Thank you.